Am I really the best teacher for my child? Depending on your answer, this video may or may not be for you. So, if you're new to my channel, I'm Shada. I'm a homeschool mom to a 5, 7, and 2-year-old. And recently I've been pondering on this question. I know when it comes to homeschooling or just in general, we always say, I am the best teacher for my child. And while I will 100% agree with that, it made me reflect on myself and some things I need to work on, in general. Because if you think about it, you're your child's first teacher, which means all of your bad habits, all of your maybe insecurities, all of your things that you want to work on to change about yourself, your child will pick up on that. So I wrote down a few different areas that I wanted to touch on and questions I wanted to ask to see if we're really the best teacher for our child. Now, let me just say, we are the best teachers for our children, but I'll be proud of the example that we're setting for our children, knowingly and unknowingly, because they're always paying attention. So, first on my list, I have nutrition. So when I think about nutrition, I think about, okay, of course, we make sure we have the balanced meals for the kids, the healthy and balanced meals. We make food from scratch. We skip the purees. We do baby-led weaning. Or I'm speaking for myself, right? And it's like, I want the best for them. But when it comes to me, am I making sure that I'm drinking my water? Am I eating my fruit? Am I reaching for fruit before I reach for a processed snack? Am I taking the easy way out, right? Am I starting a day off with sweets instead of with greens, right? So it's like, what type of example am I really setting? If I give them the healthiest food and then they see me eating, snacking, right? Because I've done it before, right? It's like, am I really the best teacher for my child? Of course I am, but that means I have to work on myself. So next on my list, I have habits. So when I think of habits, I think of little small things that, is habitual. So say for instance, if you're not the type of person that wake up and make your bed up, like second nature, then 9 times out of 10, your children are going to get out of bed and not want to make it up. But if they see you make up your bed every single day, it becomes a habit for them to make up their bed every single day without even questioning it, right? Are you the type of mom who, leave dishes in the sink to marinate, right? Growing up as a child, I did not enjoy washing dishes. I needed to let the dishes marinate. I didn't want to scrub. Let them marinate and then I come back and get it. And it's like that habit followed me until I got married. And it's like, you have to think about certain things that you do. Do you, I don't know, bad habits that you don't want your children to have? Do you always be seen with your phone? Are you never reading? Do they never see you read your Bible? Different things like that. So next on my list, I have education. So this is the one I feel like we have a great understanding about. We have the most experience with when it comes to educating our children, because honestly, it's very easy to teach them. They learn to talk. They learn their colors, their numbers, to read, to spell, to draw, different exercises, how to interact with people in the stores, things of that nature. We found curriculum for them. We found workbooks. We found online courses. We found whatever. So when it comes to education, I don't feel like we're slacking in that area. Now, yeah. So I feel like education is good. Yes, you can teach your child through homeschool. You can. You've been teaching them from the beginning, but do you have the confidence, right? Do you have the patience? That's another thing. And that's down on my list. So the next thing I have is fitness. Are you a fit mom, right? Do you work out often? Are you active? Do you get out on the floor and you play with them? This is not a video to call out anyone. This is a video where I am reflecting on myself, and these are thoughts that I had, and I was like, you know what, let me just share it, because there's always room for improvement. This is not a comparison game. But it's more so like, I am the best teacher for my child. I am their first teacher, so I want to be the best teacher. That means I have to work on myself to be the best person, right? And I'm not expecting perfection, but I am raising children who are going to pick up on my habits early, and that's going to shape their future. So fitness, do you work out often? Are you active? Do you have a care for your body? So the next thing on my list is emotional regulation, and this is a big one. And I'm going to pair this with spiritual, the spiritual aspect as well. Emotional regulation. Can you control your temper? Are you expecting your child to know how to manage their emotions when you often are triggered by things they do, right? Or if they see you lashing out at people and things of that nature, don't you know that we have to teach them how to regulate their emotions, all the while learning to do ours? Because many of us didn't have parents or teachers or people to sit down and say, hey, these emotions that you're feeling are, normal. Of course, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to cry. But do you throw things? Do you hit people? Do you do things intentionally because you're feeling a certain type of way? Like, your actions have a effect on more than just you, right? When you're upset, when you do things, it affects more than just you. So it's like, are we really learning to manage our own emotions? And I've become so much better in that area as I've learned to look through the resources and teach my children how to, recognize different emotions and how to voice how they're feeling, and how I had to learn to woosah. When they're crying or they're going through tantrums, like, not to react, not to scream, not to give up, but just take some time. I need quiet time. Like, I just need a minute to think. The next on my list is patience, right? Are you a patient parent? This comes over time, and not everyone is born with the gift of patience. It often stems from how you grew up as a child and how patient your parents were with you. And that's something that just come with you, right? You have to really work on it. And sometimes your children will really test you because they're working on you. They point out your strengths and your weaknesses. So it's like, am I the patient mom? Do I display patience when I'm homeschooling? Do I display patience when they're trying to tell me something, or when they want to talk to me, or when I ask them to do a task and they're taking too long? Am I their biggest cheerleader? Am I boosting their self-esteem? Am I speaking kind words to them? When I do have to discipline, am I doing it to a point where it's tearing them down? So patience and being their cheerleader, like, it goes hand in hand. Children are children. They're going to have a slower speed until they get things right, until they become better, until they have more practice. So it's like, we have to be their biggest cheerleader. And even with children, they do talk down on themselves sometimes. They do have perfectionism skills, some of the kids. And it's like, we have to let them know, baby, you made a mistake, but you're great. You'll get better. So the next on my list is confidence and self-esteem. And I kind of just talked about that. Like, do you display confidence? Do you walk in the room like you own it, right? Do you put on clothes and feel like you're you look your best, right? Children often imitate their parents. And if you feel like you don't really care about your appearance or whatever the case may be, they may feel the same way. So it's like, we have to learn. Like, my hair is beautiful. My skin is beautiful. Teach them the same thing. Like, God made you perfectly in His image, right? The next thing on my list is socialization. Are you an introvert parent? Are you a parent who likes to get out and mingle with people? Are you a parent who never say anything when they're around people, but kind of talk at home? It's kind of like what you do, it's kind of what your kids are going to do. Although most kids are, like, naturally friendly, they want to talk to people, they want to meet people, it's their personality, but, like, overall, are you making it a priority to get out and socialize, to have mom friends, to kind of introduce your kids to different, other homeschool families that align with your values and things of that nature? Am I the best example of showing my children how to socialize? The next on my list is community. So, am I a loner? Do I lean to myself for all understanding? Am I not getting advice from other moms or, other family members or other people in the community? Am I not seeking out other ways to become better, right? To better my skills, build my business or whatever the case may be. And the last thing I have is resources. So, am I the best at finding resources for my children? Do I search websites, right? Do I go to different stores? Am I budgeting? Am I finding the best price? Am I finding the exact thing my children is, needing help with, and making sure that I get everything that I can at the best price, right? Kids learn how to be resourceful. They know what person is good at what. They know who they can go to for what advice, if they want something, if they need something, if they're feeling a certain way. It's like, as their mom, am I really teaching them the same thing? Am I being an example of, hey, if you can't do it this way, you do it that way. If you want to learn this, grab this book. If you want to learn this, you go to this website. If you need help, these are the people available to you. Are you showing them those things? So that's all I had on my list for, am I the best teacher for my child? It's like, I was just thinking of what some areas I need to work on. I was watching this podcast episode, and I'll kind of link it in the description below, but it's like, in order to be the best for your child, you have to be the best for yourself. Are you taking your eating seriously? Are you taking your sleep seriously? Are you taking your just joy and happiness seriously? Like, are you letting things get you down? Are you letting things steal the joy away from your kids? Like, are you so in your feelings or in your head to the point where you can't see all the small things that they do, or that they want your attention, or whatever the case may be? So I was like, ooh, this is an interesting subject, and I'm like, I have work to do in some areas, but I feel like You know, I know without a doubt I'm the best teacher for my child. I know without a shadow of a doubt, like this is who I was. This is a part of the reasons why God created me. Of course, like I'm their mother. Who else can teach them better than me? You know. But if you don't have that confidence to know that yes, you're your child's first teacher, then you may feel like, hey, somebody else can do this better than me. But let me just tell you, you don't have to teach them everything, right? But if you know where to get things from, if you know where to get your help from, right? If you know where to reach out to other sisters, other, friends, other moms, and be like, hey, I'm not strong in math. Can you teach them? I'm not strong in reading. Can you teach them? Like, you don't have to teach them every single thing, but you have to know and be confident in the fact that, look, God created me to do this. And even if I'm not the expert in all areas, I can find it for my child, and therefore I'm their best teacher. So that's all I have for this video. Please drop your feedback, your comments, your take on you being your child's first teacher, and yeah, just let me know. I'll see you guys in my next video.